I did the Alta Via 1, which is a 115-kilometer hike through the Dolomites in the Alps, and I did that about 2 weeks ago. This is my dog Luna. I did that about 2 weeks. Luna, I'm trying to film a video. Can you give me just 10 minutes? I know. The Alta Via is typically broken up into 11 stages. I did this with my boyfriend Alex, so Alex and I decided to do it in 9 stages, so each stage takes a day, which meant that we were covering a lot more than what is recommended typically. So I'm going to show you everything that I took with me. So we did 8 nights at mountain huts called refugios, and we carried everything on our back. So the first thing that I'm going to start off with is what backpack to take. Alex is very, he's an advocate of the ultralight movement, so he was kind of pushing me to opt for a smaller pack and to go very light, so not to take more than what was absolutely essential. And I am so grateful that I did, because it just made my experience so much better. And also, you really don't need as much as you think you do when you're doing something like this. So I'm going to start off with the backpack that I ended up going for. A tip is not to get caught up on the brand, or if you've seen someone who has a specific backpack. So if I show you what backpack I got, not to get caught up on, oh, that's the backpack I need. I would really recommend that you try on as many as you can and just figure out what fits best on your body, what feels most comfortable. I went in going, oh yeah, I've seen someone who has an Osprey backpack, so I want that. And I ended up trying it on. It was the Osprey Tempest 40 litre, I want to say, or 42 litre. It was, I think that's what it was. Went on, tried it on, it just did not fit well on my body. Like, it felt quite uncomfortable. I didn't love how the back felt on my back. And I went into Ellis Brigham, which, if you're based in the United States, it's kind of our version of REI. Luna. So it's our version of REI in the United States, and they made me try on various different backpacks. I started to have opinions about the backpacks that I was trying on. I think the more you try on, the more you realize, oh, this is really comfortable, or oh, this is not as comfortable. So the backpack that I ended up going for is this one here, and she looks a bit out of sorts because I just washed her last night, so she's now clean. So this is it. It is the Gregory Jade 38 litre, and what I love, I mean, I'm very attached to this bag now because we've been on a hell of a journey together, but what I love about this backpack is that it's very, very light, in my opinion. I think it's 1.2 kilograms, which for a backpack is on the heaviest side, but she was great for me. She fits like she was made for my body. Like, she fits so well. It's so comfortable, and she has this really kind of unique lumbar lumbar support here. So it's very, very cushioned all the way to the hip belt as well. I didn't like the backpacks where I felt like the weight was pulling me back. So the backpacks that have a suspension system where there is quite a big gap between your back and the backpack, I didn't like those at all. I felt very like out of balance. It didn't feel good. But this kind of mimics that, in that there is kind of a gap in your back, like between your back and the backpack, so you do get a breeze. There is really good ventilation, but you don't feel like the weight is pulling you back at all. The straps are super comfy. Obviously you have the like load lifters, I think is what they're called. The straps are super comfy. The hip belt is super comfy. It has two really big pockets on the outside, on the sides of the back, on the sides of the bag, a bunch of like compression straps to really pack the bag down quite small. And I will insert a photo of it on my back here so that you can see, but it does look like quite a small pack, but it fits a hell of a lot of stuff in there. So the backpack opens up like this, and it's a typical like hiking backpack where it's just like a massive bag and then you just shove a load of stuff in there. There is a pocket in here for you to keep anything valuable that you want like kind of hidden. And then the backpack also opens up kind of like a suitcase. So I'll just show you. So you can open up the bag like this, which makes packing it really easy, so you can really kind of configure how you want everything in the backpack to fit. There is a pocket here, which actually ended up being really useful. So when I washed my clothes at night, if they still hadn't dried, I sometimes would like hang stuff out of here or like pop some socks in there that were not fully dry. The only other thing to mention, which I think again is pretty standard, is that this backpack does have a clip for you to clip your hiking poles to, and I think Alex was saying that this is for an ice axe, but I just like threaded my poles through, like the bottom of my poles through here, so that they kind of stayed nice and upright on the bag. And that's everything. So this was the backpack that I chose. Again, I'm really happy that I went for this option, and I opted for a smaller pack. Of all the backpacks that we saw different hikers wearing on the Alta, I think I had one of the smaller backpacks, which again, I had everything that I needed in here, and I'll go into like what I actually took with me, but I felt like I had more than enough space in my backpack. So yeah, I cannot recommend this enough. It was also really easy to clean when I got back, so I'm super happy with the backpack. The only thing that I will mention is this is a pricier pack. I think it was £185, so it is quite a lot of money for a backpack, but because this is something that I am hoping to do a lot more of in the future, I thought that it would be good in investing in a backpack like this that is going to last me forever. The Gregory backpacks do have a lifetime guarantee as well, so that made me feel better about spending all that money on a backpack. But yeah, I cannot recommend this enough. I'm so happy that I went for this one, and yeah, it was really amazing. Okay, so next thing I'm gonna get into is what I actually took on the trip with me. And again, this is something that I could not find anywhere, especially as a girl. I had a lot of questions about cleanliness and like worries and concerns about that, so hopefully this part of the video will address that. So if you have similar questions, hopefully I can answer them for you. The only other thing that I forgot to mention about the backpack is that it does come with a rain cover. I think the majority of these more pricier packs do come with a rain cover, and I did not have to use this rain cover on the trip because we were very lucky with the weather. It rained once when we were out, and I think it lasted about 15-20 minutes, and it just so happened to be when we were at a refugio having lunch. So we were very lucky with the weather. Okay, the next bit is what was in my pack. So the first thing to note is that I bought these from Amazon, and I do recommend that you get some of these. You don't have to spend a lot of money, but I think that it is important to have these. Are these dry bags. So I bought a pack, and there were 3 that came in the pack. They basically keep everything inside your backpack dry, and you can also compress them. So they serve as like a compression system, but also make sure that everything stays dry in your bag. In the orange one, I put all my clothes. So all my clean clothes, which you will see is not a lot of stuff. In this one, I put my electronics, so power bank, chargers, SD cards, etc. went in this one. And then in here, I put my sleeping sack, my towel, my eye mask, and my earplugs went in this one. So I'll do the clothes first. So everything that I took, clothes wise. So the first thing to emphasize is socks. So it's really, really important that you pick good socks. If I had not taken the right socks, I probably would have gotten blisters. I got a tiny blister on my second toe, I think 4 or 5 days in, and that's it. My feet were fine. I had no issues, no blisters, no rubbing, no nothing. And Alex recommended that I use the same socks that I use for running because I also run. And these are the socks that I did my half marathon in. So these are the ones that I wore, that I mainly wore on the Alta. They are the Belega anti-blister socks, and I cannot recommend these enough. They are fantastic. They come up a little bit higher than ankle socks to prevent any like rubbing the back of your shoe, especially when you're going downhill or uphill. These were fantastic, and I took 3 pairs of these socks. I only wore 2. I wore these were like my preference, and then I had another one that I wore if these did not dry in time. So when you get into the refugio, you're all sweaty and disgusting, you take off everything that you're wearing that you've been hiking in, you wash it, you leave it to dry, and then you put on a clean outfit. If these did not dry in time for me to put them back on the next day, I would wear my second pair of socks. And then by the time I arrived at the next refugio, these were dry, so I would wear these the following day and then wash the others, and that was the cycle. I didn't end up using the 3rd pair of socks. If I were to do this again, I would only take 2 pairs of socks, not 3. So you only need 2 pairs of socks, you do not need 3. That's my recommendation. I took 2 sports bras, seamless sports bra, so I took this one. This was my second one. These are the 2 that I took. Again, wore one, hiked in it, got sweaty, came back to the refugio, or got to the refugio, took it off, washed it, put on the other one, and then I would typically wear this one the next day because this one never ended up drying in time. And what I would do is, I had this clipped onto my bag, I would clip this onto my bag, and then it would dry in the sun, and then I would wear that the following day. I had 3 tops that I took with me. I did end up wearing all 3 of these tops. The first one is this long sleeve, just grey, seamless, like sports top. This one is from Crazy Yoga. I had another long sleeve, like seamless top. These are all like slightly shorter than full length, so they come up to like just under my belly button. And then I also had a short sleeve, like khaki color, Crazy Yoga seamless top. These dried quite fast, I would say. And I would say that I also wore the long sleeve tops much more often than the short sleeve tops to just protect my skin because it was very, very hot. And I didn't want to get sunburnt. I didn't want to have to worry about sunscreening my arms. So I wore the long sleeve tops much more than I did the short sleeve ones. Hello. Hi. I'm in the middle of a video. Love you. Shorts, or like bottoms, were probably the thing clothing wise that I was most stressed about, because I don't have tiny legs, and typically if I wear loose shorts, my legs chafe. I've never really found loose shorts, like shorts that are not cycling shorts, that would not hurt my legs, basically. I was quite sure that I did not want to wear leggings because number one, it was hot, and number two, if it did rain, and there was a quite high chance that it would rain, like the weather is quite unreliable in the Dolomites, I would just have like wet material stuck to my legs for hours and hours, which was not something that sounded super great to me. So I knew that I was going to take shorts. I just wasn't really sure what shorts I would be able to take. So initially I started off wearing the same shorts I wore for my half marathon, which are these Crazy Yoga. Crazy Yoga is like a dupe off of Lululemon, but these Crazy Yoga navy blue cycling shorts, they have a pocket on either side of them, and they are the 6-inch length, so you can pull them down to cover more of your leg, but you can also kind of hike them up so that they aren't super long. So this is the second pair of shorts I ended up taking. So I took 2 hiking bottoms. This was the second pair. And the first pair, which ended up being the only pair that I wore when hiking, are these hiking shorts from a brand called Arc'teryx. I think I'm butchering that name, but I'll put the name here. And these are, I don't know exactly what the name of these shorts are, but they are the thinner material. They're not the hiking, like the traditional hiking short that they do. I did try that on in the store, but it was really, really thick, and I felt like I wasn't as free in terms of my movement as these ones. These ones are designed for like training outdoors, and they are quite light. They're a really kind of thin material, and they dry in no time. And these are also a longer short, so they're 5 inches long, and I had no issues at all. No chafing, no uncomfortable rubbing, nothing. And what I like about these shorts is that they're liner-less. They don't have a liner in them, which again, for me, because I have a wider middle part of my body, I found the liner, like the underwear that typically comes in loose shorts, quite uncomfortable. It would cut me in the wrong places. I just don't really like that. These are amazing. I cannot recommend them enough. They are really, really expensive. I think these were £70, but I will be getting much more wear out of them. And again, I wore them every single day of my trip, and I'm very, very grateful that I ended up going for these. And I think it does show on camera, but I got the navy blue color. The only other thing to note in terms of clothing is I did take my puffy. So this is just from Uniqlo. I think it's like £60 from Uniqlo. I think I've had this for 6 or 7 years, and it packs down really small. Alex did not take his puffy. I'm very glad that I took mine, because I think I ended up wearing it 2 or 3 times in the evenings. I'm very prone to getting cold, so for me, I knew that I was going to take this. Alex didn't end up taking his. The other thing that was a must is a fleece. So this is the one that I took. It's just a pretty standard fleece, I would say. This one is from Decathlon. I think it was 10 or 12 pounds. Super light, it's very, very warm, and it's very, very easy to clean. I didn't end up washing this because I only put it on once I was clean in the evenings. I didn't ever wear it when I was hiking, so I didn't have to worry about washing it. But a fleece is a definite must, I would say, because the temperature does drop in the evening. And then a raincoat. So make sure that if you are taking a raincoat, you are taking something that is actually waterproof. I feel like a lot of raincoats brand themselves as raincoats, but are not actually waterproof. This is the one that I have. So again, I didn't get this for the trip. I already had this. This is from Patagonia. I don't know what model it is, but it's a waterproof coat. And I think I wore this again once when it was raining, but I wore it for about 5 minutes because we were outside the refugio having lunch, and then we had to go back inside because it started raining. So again, I didn't really wear this very much, but it is necessary to have something that is waterproof because it does tend to rain in the Dolomites, and it could be really sunny and then all of a sudden it rains, which leads me on to a second waterproof item, which I did not end up using. I did buy this for the trip, didn't use it, but we'll keep it because it's just useful to have, especially for any future trips that I do like this one. But these are rain trousers. I bought these from Amazon. I think they were 14 or 15 pounds, and they're super lightweight as well. So when I packed up my bag, my raincoat and the waterproof trousers went at the very top, so if it did start raining I could just pull them out, put them on, and then I would be dry, or I would stay dry. My rain cover for my backpack was also at the very top, so I could make sure that everything inside my backpack stayed dry, and also to, obviously, to protect the backpack. My hat. So I will insert a photo of me wearing this hat. This hat is ridiculous. It is not cute at all, but it really did save me. It was so hot. There were days where you just could not escape the sun. You were completely exposed, and it was just, the sun was like blazing, and it was just horrific. So I was very grateful for having this hat. I will say that if I could go back and do this again, I would have gotten a hat like this one, but one that had like an extended neck cover, because the back of my neck did get burnt, and also this portion of my neck also did get burnt quite a bit. So potentially one of those, not scarves, but one of those like cloths that kind of protect your neck as well. Potentially get one of those, because again the sun is so strong, and we were quite good with applying SPF, but we still did get a little bit burnt at times. Pajamas. So I think go as light as you can. So I bought these really light pajama shorts. I wish I had taken longer ones, because I did get quite chilly at night, and especially the refugios that were further up, like Refugio Cinque Torri. And that one I think was when I was the coldest. I really struggled, but I opted for the shorts because they were lighter. But like, it's such a tiny difference. I think I would have opted for the longer ones just because I would have been more comfortable. And then a t-shirt. I ended up buying this t-shirt. It says, I don't know if you can see, Lago di Brais, which is the starting point of the Alta Via. I did come with a different t-shirt. It was really old. I ended up throwing away that t-shirt and replacing it with this one, so that it wouldn't mean that I was carrying extra stuff, as per Alex's recommendation. That is everything clothes related. I think I brought 6 pairs of underwear with me. I ended up only using 3. So one when I was hiking, I would take that off, wash it, wear the next one. In the morning, take that off, wear the clean one, and then wash the dirty underwear when I got to the refugio, and then kind of repeat. So you don't need more than 3. I recognize that as a girl, we often panic and we think we need a lot more underwear than what we actually need, but I only ended up using 3 and not the additional 3 that I had taken. So just keep that in mind. A towel. So this is like a microfiber towel that I bought from Decathlon. I think this was like £8. I ended up going for the bigger size because I'm a girl and I had to dry my hair as well. So I thought this made sense, but Alex was very anti the big towel. He went for like a tiny little square. But again, I think as a girl, you have a lot of hair, you need a bigger towel, so that's fine. A sleeping sack. This is the polyester sleeping bag from Decathlon. This is quite light, and I think it was very inexpensive as well. I think it was like 12 to 14 pounds, if I remember correctly. In a lot of the refugios, this is a requirement, so they don't have like a like they don't have bed linen, they'll have like a thick wool blanket, and to save them from having to wash like every day, you need one of these so that this is clean, you sleep in this, and then the blanket kind of just adds warmth, but this is a requirement. So electronics, I brought this power bank. It's a convertible power bank, so this works like wherever you are in the world. It allows you to plug in 4 different cables, and then it allows you to charge something in here, so to plug in an additional charger. So this was really, really great. This is all Alex and I brought, so I brought this and then we shared it. So that's what I got in terms of electronics, and those are actually the cables that I took as well. We also had a power bank, so we had one each of these. And again, some of the refugios, I think only 2 of them, there were no outlets that we could charge stuff from, so this came in handy. In my little electronics bag, I also had an additional SD card, which I popped in here, an additional camera battery, my camera, which I'm currently filming on, but all of that went into the yellow dry bag. My camera, I typically put on the outside of my bag next to the water, and it went on a tripod, a little like portable tripod, so that went, I just shoved that like in the water compartment and it was fine. I also had a bag, a plastic Ziploc bag with my Kindle, which Alex was very anti. He said that this was not necessary and not ultralight, but for me, I wanted to bring my Kindle, so I brought my Kindle. I also will say, because hats off to Alex, I had a minor injury on the alta via, which meant that there were a few days where I was in quite a bit of pain. So I have a recurring lower back injury, and that fled up, and I also hurt the other side of my back. Alex very kindly carried the Kindle, so thanks Alex. So in that bag I also put my passport and my wallet, and that was in a Ziploc bag, so it stayed dry, and it was also in one of the kind of safe compartments of my bag. The only other thing to mention is sunglasses. Very, very important. Those were usually on my face. My toiletry bag, I don't have it with me, but I had a plastic little toiletry bag. In there I had my SPF, which I ended up putting in one of the side pockets in my hip belt of my backpack so that I could easily access it, put it on my face, and my hands. SPF your hands, because your hands are constantly exposed. They're holding the hiking poles and you get really burnt hands, so make sure to put SPF on your hands. But in my toiletry bag I had a shampoo bar, which Alex and I shared. I had my face wash, which to me was an essential, my face moisturizer, which to me was an essential. I had a small bottle of conditioner, and then I had things like a few Q-tips, some tweezers, and that was it. Oh, and I had a lot of hairpins to pin my hair back so that it wasn't in my face, so that I was sweating. Toothpaste, Alex carried the toothpaste. We had like 75ml, like half used one, for the both of us. And then I had like a very small collapsible toothbrush that I took. My hairbrush, I also took my hairbrush. This looks big, but it's quite light. And then I also had a first aid kit. This is what is left of the first aid kit. In here I had an abundance of these guys. These are Compeeds. They are like blister plasters. They are amazing. So I had a bunch of these. I had these, gosh, this one's broken. This like wound cleansing wipe, like antiseptic wipe. More plasters. Gosh, a lot of plasters. I also got this like zinc oxide, I think it's called, tape, to tape up toes, fingers, to prevent rubbing, friction. etc. I have rehydration sachets as well. So I took these Gatorade ones, and then I also had these Revival ones in the flavor Mojito. I have ibuprofen in here, some magnesium. Alex and I were taking vitamin C every morning. I was taking magnesium in the evening on most days, and on my first day I took ibuprofen. I also ended up taking a lot of ibuprofen because of my back, which I was very, very grateful I had ibuprofen for. And I also had this little Compeed stick, which again I've used for running, and you kind of roll this on parts of your body where you sweat and there is friction. So if you're wearing short sleeves and you're running, you typically roll that on your arms to prevent chafing. You can roll your legs, your feet, etc. So this is really good. I didn't end up using this, so potentially this is something that you wouldn't need to take. And then some tissues as well, because you know you always need tissues. And that's kind of it. I will say that on my backpack I had this clip, like I said. I had this little hand sanitizer thing, and then I also had this little light, which was not a necessity, but I wanted a little cute light on my backpack, so yeah. And that is everything that I took with me on the Alta Via 1. So if you are doing the Alta Via 1 or you're thinking of doing it, I hope this video is helpful. If you have any questions that I haven't answered in terms of what to take, what not to take, please ask. Like, I'm very, very happy to give you my opinion and help you out. I will say this was an incredible experience. I'm very excited for my next adventure. Haven't planned the next adventure, just very excited for it. And if you are thinking of doing it, I would 100% do it. I'm gonna do a separate video with things you need to know, my thoughts, my experience as well, to kind of go into detail as to how it went and things that I expected versus things that I hadn't thought of or hadn't expected, etc. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. I will see you in the next one, and thank you so much for watching. Bye.